You know what? This is part of my responsibility. And Patrick Walker, he's right. Cowboys fans are absolutely about to freak out over the course of the next couple of days, especially if they're not following a trusty source that's going to make sure that they're reporting in a manner that keeps your emotions at bay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that people need to throw fluff reports at you, just stuff that's going to make you feel all nice and dandy and lie to you. But what I am saying is context is key, ladies and gentlemen. And Ceedee Lamb is probably not about to be at the Cowboys' upcoming OTAs starting May 21st. And there's probably going to be some stories ran about it on ESPN, FS1. You'll probably see local news beat reporters writing articles that seem a lot more, honestly, dramatic than what they should be for this exact timestamp. But we're about to get into this, and I'm going to try to, talk some sense into Cowboys Nation and give you some facts and empirical data that shows Ceedee Lamb isn't going anywhere, and we probably don't have anything to worry about. I say probably because you never know with Jerry, man. You just never know. Patrick Walker, one of the most trusted reporters in my opinion, had a soapbox post today, and I think I want to echo this sentiment to my audience as well. And the goal here is eventually we're going to create a community or a large enough portion of Cowboys Nation that is informed properly and have all the proper context and all the proper information that they need to make sound judgment and to react properly to different bits of information that we see come out about our team. And eventually we'll have a more informed and knowledgeable football fan base. Ultimately, that's the goal. I know it's a lofty goal, but hey, I'm here for a long time, not for a short time, right? But Patrick Walker said, I'll explain something proactively. That will be forgotten in 2 days anyway, when you likely see Ceedee Lamb is absent from Cowboys OTAs per source, hit your timeline, and a predictable panic ensues. OTAs are still voluntary, and as such, no fines are associated with being absent from them. And I'll also add that, unlike on defense, the offensive scheme, coaching staff, save for Steve Shimko being added in an offensive assistant / quality control role, play caller and QB are all the same in 2024, so it's not as if he's behind on anything / anyone new. Just a key note there. And I'll also add to that, we know for a fact that Dak and Ceedee Lamb have actually been working out together. All right, so it's not like Dak and Ceedee are gonna not have the right connection or something like that. They've been working out. It's not like they haven't seen each other in years, right? Mandatory minicamp begins June 4th. That's the first date that actually matters financially, and that's always been the one I have had circled on my calendar, followed by the much more important one in late July. It would be a pleasant surprise if he showed up on Wednesday at voluntary OTAs, but if he doesn't, it wouldn't raise my eyebrow. That's because it's still voluntary for now. Right, and Patrick Walker is alluding to the fact that Ceedee Lamb is obviously in negotiations with the Dallas Cowboys for another contract. I'm going to say this, bro. Ceedee Lamb is 24, 25 years old. He is entering the peak of his career. Wide receivers usually see the peak of their career between the ages of 25 and 30, essentially, right? After 30, that's kind of when they're on the downside of their career in most situations. But Ceedee Lamb is 100% going to get paid by somebody, and it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Why am I so sure about this? And why am I instilling this confidence in my audience so that you guys can make sure that you tell the people that you see panicking and believing into the BS, hold your horses, buddy. It ain't that deep. That's all I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to give you guys the confidence to know that, hey, everything's going to be okay. And the easiest way that you can see that everything's going to be okay is Jerry Jones forced the number 88 on Ceedee Lamb. That number isn't just about, oh, he's going to be our number one receiver and he's going to be the marketable guy. No. The 88 is very, very special. Why is it very special? Because save for Dez Bryant, and we'll get to him in a second, but save for Dez Bryant, tell me something that you notice about the careers of the previous guys that wore the number 88. Let's start with Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson, he played for the Dallas Cowboys from 1973 till 1983. Effectively, he played 11 seasons only for the Dallas Cowboys. After that 11th season, he hung up the cleats and he never donned another jersey for another franchise. Michael Irvin, same situation. Michael Irvin played for the Dallas Cowboys from 1988 until 1999. 12 total seasons only for the Dallas Cowboys. And then we get to Dez Bryant, and lo and behold, the same trend holds up, except Dez didn't quite know when to hang him up coming off of that injury. And Dez Bryant played essentially his whole career outside of 6 games, a handful of games for the Baltimore Ravens. He played his whole career for the Dallas Cowboys, a much shorter career, albeit due to injury issues, but he did play his whole career for the Cowboys outside of that handful of games for the Ravens, which Dez really should have just kept it, man. He should have just retired a permanent Cowboy. Here's my point. Ceedee Lamb is going into his 5th season as a Dallas Cowboy. Ladies and gentlemen, much like the starting quarterback position for the Cowboys, when the Cowboys lock down a franchise QB, he retires a Cowboy, and the only jersey he ever wears is a Dallas Cowboy jersey. That has been the case for Danny White. That has been the case for Troy Aikman. That has been the case for Tony Romo. That is going to be the case for Dak Prescott, and that was the case for Roger Staubach. Ceedee Lamb is going to retire as a Dallas Cowboy. That is the importance of that number 88. Jerry didn't give him that for a short time. He gave him that number for a long time. He's going to get signed. We are literally waiting on Justin Jefferson at this point, I believe. I think that Ceedee Lamb and his agent are essentially playing the waiting game to see when and if Justin Jefferson is going to sign. I believe that if it gets late enough in the game, maybe when we get close to that June 4th deadline, if it gets late enough in the game, I think that we will see maybe Ceedee Lamb and his agent decide to go ahead and sign their contract before Justin Jefferson, because the Cowboys have planned and constructed this entire franchise and roster around paying certain guys and making sure that certain guys remain on this team. They knew what the cost was going to be for the receiver position. They knew what the cost was going to be for having someone don that number 88. That was the importance of anointing Ceedee Lamb number 88. That essentially told us as a fan base and Ceedee Lamb they plan on him being a Dallas Cowboy for life, and they plan on him being a legend at the end of the day. And the Cowboys do not like having their legends wear other teams' jerseys, and I'm willing to bet they are not going to let what happened with DeMarcus Ware happen with another Cowboy star again. Ceedee Lamb was essentially inducted into a very special club for the Dallas Cowboys, and you have to be a fool to believe that Jerry Jones would want to see him win a Super Bowl anywhere else just due to them not being able to re-sign them, or he was too expensive. It's not happening, y'all. Ceedee and Dak are both going to be here for the long run. History shows it. The way that the roster is currently constructed shows it. Don't let all the one-year contracts and stuff, don't let all that stuff get to you. The coaches' one-year contracts are completely independent of all these players. I'm telling you guys. If you look at the way all the rest of the contracts are lined up and how they are drafting and what their plan is as far as team building, they draft to replace. They bring in cheap drafted guys or cheap bridge gap veterans to come in and play a role until they have a young guy ready to step up. But they keep certain positions cheap and they pay a core of guys. Dak, Ceedee Lamb are part of that core. Do not fall into the trap this year, Cowboys Nation. Do not let anyone play with y'all emotions. Everything is going to be fine, even if it doesn't happen at the exact time that we all want it to happen, which is as soon as possible, so we can stop arguing with it and stop worrying about it, right? But even if it doesn't happen when we want it to happen, it's going to happen. They have already let us know they're waiting on other leaves to fall. They're waiting on the rest of the market to shape itself, so that way that they don't feel like they're overpaying for anybody or they're not setting a brand new market. That's what the Cowboys are doing. They don't want to set a market. It's as clear as day. They are scared to death to set a market for anyone, so they don't want to be the people to pay someone an outrageous number and everyone else is looking at them like, hey, we weren't even going to give that much to our guys, right? So that's what's going on. Chill out. Everything's gonna be cool. Either way, we still them same old Cowboys. See you guys on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.